Wait, I hate reading manga. 9 months ago I tried manga for the first time and I didn't enjoy it. But one person commented on that video and told me to read Kagurabachi. And another one said it will speak. So I guess I'm doing this again, starting with Kagurabachi. You see, Kagurabachi might be peak. This happened 38 months ago. And why is it important? I have no idea. This is Chihiro, our main character. This is Mr. Shiba. He's the best friend of Chihiro's dad, who I soon realized was killed. 38 months ago. Now it all makes sense. Oh, those are dead people on a bridge. And so they decided to visit those who are responsible for this.
Let's go!
I forgot I was making a manga review and I ran out of every single sound effect I own under my name. Kagurabachi begins with Chihiro, a quiet and disciplined young man who spends his days training under his father, a once legendary swordsmith who made enchanted blades that helped end a war. Their calm life is suddenly shattered when a dangerous group of sorcerers, no, not these, storms their home, slaughtering his father and stealing his 6 powerful enchanted blades, leaving Chihiro scarred both physically and emotionally. Moving back to the present, as he cuts his way through enemies with swift, brutal precision, it becomes clear that his mission is not just about vengeance, but about reclaiming the stolen blades and destroying the sorcerers at any cost. No, I didn't read this from a script. Kagurabachi made one thing clear. I still hate reading manga. But if there are more good manga like Kagurabachi, I might finally understand why people enjoy reading manga, so here are another 19 manga recommendations I forced myself to read, and I already regret doing that. I have a feeling someone already recommended me an adult manga. And this image doesn't help it at all. Luckily, I was wrong. The manga is about this guy who gets dumped by his girlfriend and he cannot emotionally accept it and is thinking what she could be doing with her new boyfriend. This might be adult manga after all. So he finds himself a website where he can rent girlfriends and he does, then he regrets doing it. It was probably a scam. Maybe she is ugly, or a guy, or... And he really enjoys spending time with her, so he decides next day to get another girlfriend and another, and basically it's like Tinder without the pedophile. I already knew what was the story of Takt Op Destiny because I made a video on it and it's my 3rd most watched video on this channel. So what I was trying to see is if the manga and anime are similar in art style and story. This is all the context I will give you to this manga, and I personally enjoyed the anime a lot more, but if you disagree with me, you can go. I already made a video on this anime, and basically vampire hunter, he cannot kill him, and basically it's a whole comedy with this armadillo, and that's the most interesting character in the entire show. I enjoyed the anime more, but if you disagree with me, you can go... I need to take a break because I'm going insane.
Are you an insane?
Yes, this is the Fable. If you enjoyed Sakamoto Days but want something a bit more realistic, the Fable is perfect choice for you. The main character is the strongest assassin who is suddenly told by his boss, "You are off the job, no more killing, go live a normal life." The art style and pacing were exactly what I enjoyed. This is the first manga on this list that I can recommend. Yes, you heard that right. The person who hates reading manga is recommending the Fable. And that must mean something. Or maybe not. Let's guess what this manga is about. A. It's hentai. B. A guide for young men on how to treat their girlfriend, written by a Japanese Andrew Tate. It's hentai. I don't know why, but when I read this manga, I didn't think at all what is happening in it. What I was thinking about was how would this look like if it actually was written by a Japanese Andrew Tate. Rule number 1. If she makes you rice in rice cooker 300, slap her and tell her to use rice cooker 400 because in the rice cooker 300 she can't make anything good for you. Something is probably wrong with me and this is why I am still single. Darling in the Franxx is a romance mecha anime where children in pairs are fighting giant monsters and giant robots. While that is the main plot, you are thinking to yourself, why did the author had so much fun creating the female lead when they are 15 years old? Also, if you ever wondered what would the child of Power and Makima look like, she would look like this. And there is a reason why I can't show you anything below her neck. Because she is naked. This guy is working for an evil organization. Yay! Then he's sent to an isekai. Not so yay. It's a hentai. Yeah, I mean, boo. By doing evil deeds and becoming a model minion, you acquire points to spend on better equipment. The more evil you are, the more points you acquire. So what does our protagonist decide to do? Become a Nazi. Who is looking under the skirts of wheelchair women. It doesn't get any worse than this. What are you waiting for? I hope you don't want to see. She is dead and he still looks under her skirt. It's a hentai, let's move on. This is also hentai. I will kill someone if the next manga is hentai. Someone is dying tonight. This is not a real manga, I'm just going insane. This is hentai, however, there is one thing that actually wasn't hentai, and that was them arguing if they would rather sleep with a 500-year-old elf that looks like she's 30 or a 50-year-old human. And this argument escalates to the point where they go into a guild and ask everyone for their opinion. And the winner was the 50-year-old human. If I had to choose between the 50-year-old woman or a 500-year-old elf that looks like she's 30, I would choose neither. But if a gun was pointed at my head and I had to choose, I would choose neither. At this point, my brain was so fried that Kira lets a powerful demon take over his body. He becomes the Devilman, a hero with a monster's body but a kind human heart. But he cries a lot, that's why it's Devilman Crybaby. He fights to save people, but the world quickly falls apart as scared humans begin to attack each other. I hope the next manga will be somewhat decent. Why didn't the video cut to the next manga? I will suffer. No, please don't do this. This manga might be peak. Or maybe my brain is too fried to understand what is good and bad. The main character is a young exorcist who hates Tsukumogami, spirits that inhabit old objects, because one of them murdered his siblings when he was a child. As punishment, his grandfather makes him live with Botan, a beautiful girl guarded by 6 strong spirits who are more like a family than demons. At first, he thinks all of the spirits are evil. But as he protects Botan from enemies and fights alongside these unusual protectors, he begins to understand that it is what the spirit does that matters, not what the spirit is. This might seem like a simple story. A boy who hates spirits must work with them to protect a girl he grows to love. But this anime makes it fun and exciting with a lot of action, creative powers, and the rewarding character development of a boy who starts as a racist to a boy who is no longer a racist. Maybe my brain is too fried, but this is the second manga in this entire video that I can recommend. Again, it can be completely useless to know that someone who hates manga is recommending manga, but I recommend this one. I would like to know more about you. Would you please go out with me? I'm sorry to do this so suddenly. What? If this didn't convince you that the manga is peak, then nothing will. Imagine waking up. This is so stupid. This is a sci-fi horror manga about alien parasites that secretly take over the earth by taking control of human brains. The main character is a high school boy who is infected, but instead of his brain, a parasite takes over his right hand. He and the parasite are forced to work together to survive while hiding the fact from the rest of the world and fighting other parasites. I wanted to say a joke here, but waffles. Why does everything need to have fan service? This is the worst manga that I have read so far because I really enjoyed the anime. Basically, the anime is about two siblings who get transported into a gaming world, but this manga showed me that it was completely awful. Now I know why the anime never got a season 2, because if the studio would make it, they would get arrested for spreading child porn. Yes, I am exaggerating, but it's not okay on every third panel to see the underwear of a 11-year-old girl. This is not funny, this is really sad. What happens when you combine fan service with isekai? It becomes one of the worst manga ever made. But somehow this manga is not the worst manga ever made. It all starts with a player playing a video game in which he played the legendary Black Wind Queen Lufasu, a powerful angel feared by all. As soon as he quits the game, a mysterious message on the screen asks him if he wants to play as a new role, and he accepts. Suddenly he finds himself in Lufasu's body. Everyone is extremely scared of her, even the king is sitting on the ground. Who is a good king? Who is a good king? You are. Of course you are. Time passes and Lufasu finally reaches the abandoned tower where she used to rule with her faithful followers, and there waiting for her after all this time is a strange girl. And so what begins as a player trapped in his own character slowly transforms into a typical isekai story. I expected this to be a lot worse, but it was okay for an isekai with fan service. You might not believe what I'm about to say. Cheeseburger. I meant to say that this manga is as if Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man had a child together. You have a female Gojo and a teenage Denji, and it works. You follow two main characters. Yes, there are two main characters, which on its own is already a crazy thing that not many manga do. Tao is a super powerful woman who solves these supernatural problems as if they were a trip to the grocery store, aka female Gojo. The second main character is Alma, Tao's hyperactive and impulsive sidekick. The name suggests that Alma is a girl, but he is a boy. He looks goofy on the outside but is a monster on the inside. No. Actually, he is half monster, aka younger Denji. They own a small troubleshooter's office and take on jobs that uncover the truth about the terrifying Magari creatures, who are monsters that manifest from human corpses. The best part about the manga is that it has great action, scary monsters and surprisingly emotional scenes. It feels like a real city, and every case has something deeper going on. I personally think that in 3 years this will have an anime adaptation and will become the best new action anime, or the author will get sued for millions because the similarity is way too close. Alma gets powered up by pulling something out of his chest the same way Denji does. Even the monsters look like curses from Jujutsu Kaisen. On one side I love the manga, but on the other side I feel like the person just stole the characters and the story and took credit for it by changing the gender and kind of the age of the main characters. So I don't know how I should feel about this manga. It is bittersweet. I'm not the only one who saw the resemblance, right? This is one anime. This is another anime. I smell blood. Power from Chainsaw Man vs. Nei from this anime, connections in comments. Both are pink-haired, supporting female characters from modern shonen manga who work for a monster hunter organization, have certain personalities that cause them to clash with their main character and utilize blood in their abilities. And then he goes in depth into the actual connections and similarities. Denji, Alma, and so on. So what happens is that yes, you have a lot of similarities and the person definitely did take a lot of inspiration from Chainsaw Man and partially from Jujutsu Kaisen, but you cannot sue that person because the similarities are not similar enough, even though you have this whole connections of another side character. I think it's a great manga, but I just dislike the fact that the similarities are so obvious and that ruined the experience of the manga for myself. I don't know how it will be for you, maybe you will love it, I just hate that there are these similarities. So let's go on to the next manga. Tokyo Aliens follows Akira, a high school student whose life changes after he discovers that aliens secretly live among humans in Tokyo. He gets on a train where he sees a fight between an alien and a mysterious classmate. He learns about a secret organization that manages alien activities in the city. That is what the manga is about. Nothing too exceptional, but not horrible. Ayashimon is a supernatural action manga about a teenager named Maruo who grows up with fighting manga. He trains so hard that he becomes overpowered in real life, something we all wish we could do. He meets a girl named Urara, aka Budget Freiren, and soon discovers that the city gangs are secretly run by Ayashimon, which are spirits of some sort. Even though Maruo is only human, his crazy strength lets him fight these supernatural gangsters. Another decent manga is all that I can say. This was finally the last manga, and it was something. Akumetsu follows a high school student who seems ordinary during the day, but at night he kills politicians who have been ruining society. He kills them in very brutal ways, like splitting them in half with an axe. But the thing that surprised me the most was when he died. I thought it was the end, but he came back to school alive the next day. It was a great manga, but I am so mentally exhausted. So how do I feel about manga after reading 20 of them? I don't like manga. Yes, I could lie and tell you that I love manga now, but I would rather tell you the truth than a sweet lie. However, I said that I dislike manga, and not that I hate manga, as I said in the beginning. So something has changed for me when it comes to manga. I also discovered that there are three main types of manga. A. Hentai, B. Isekai, and C. Good manga. So if you are a manga author, don't make hentai and isekai and you will have a good manga. All the jokes aside, there are people I need to thank a lot. All of you recommended me to use DaVinci instead of CapCut, and all the motion clips in this video were created in DaVinci. I still used CapCut to edit this video, but in the future I know that DaVinci will be my favorite choice. This whole video took me over 50 hours to make, but for some unknown reason, and I hope this idea will go away very soon, I am thinking of making a similar challenge like this one in the future for manhwas. I have a feeling that I have masochistic tendencies. Anyway, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. It means a lot to me. Really, I am not saying that just because. If you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend you to watch this video next. Thanks for watching and stay tuned, my friends.